Hey, warrior woman. This is Linda Winegar, and we're in this fight together. And from now on, I'm not going to sit back and let Satan talk to you like that.
After Discovery Day or Disclosure Day, I felt like my mind and my body and spirit had been annihilated by discovering my husband's continued betrayal. But somehow I was still breathing. I don't actually even have the vocab to describe accurately what I went through, so this is my primitive attempt at describing what I felt at the time. My therapist actually describes betrayal trauma like getting hit by a truck and all of your bones are crushed and broken. Or if you like superhero movies like myself, I also liken it to getting hit by Hulk in the scene in Age of Ultron when Hulk's mind is taken over, except without a Hulkbuster suit on. Yeah, that's me getting beat up, Iron Man. So it's so intense that I really thought I wouldn't wake up one day. And honestly, that's totally what I wanted then. So if you're one of those women, though, whose world isn't shattered by your husband's betrayal, that's great. You're strong, you're resilient in this area, and you're still normal. There might be other things that affect you in a similar way or not, and that's really okay too. But this is just how my whole soul reacted. And I say reacted on purpose because I wasn't ready. The truck analogy illustrates perfectly how much healing I really needed. I'll include the link to the truck analogy and the Hulkbuster scene in the show notes. So ICU stands for Intensive Care Unit. And that is where I needed to go right away. The Wikipedia word says that intensive care units cater to patients with severe or life-threatening illnesses and injuries which require constant care, close supervision from life support equipment and medication in order to ensure normal bodily functions. They are staffed by highly trained physicians, nurses, and respiratory therapists who specialize in caring for critically ill patients. ICUs are also distinguished from general hospital wards by a higher staff-to-patient ratio and access to advanced medical resources and equipment that is not routinely available elsewhere. So, in the most recent general conference from April 2021, Elder S. Gifford Nielsen was talking about the two great commandments. He said, "I don't know about you, but when I read these two great commandments, I detect a third implied commandment, to love thyself." Have you ever thought of loving yourself as a commandment? Can we truly love God and love his children if we don't love ourselves? Isn't that amazing? I love that insight. When we have been betrayed by a loved one and it rocks you to the core, we have to get back to loving ourselves and regain confidence in our abilities and connections. So I've basically transformed each of these things in the regular hospital ICU description into my emotional and spiritual ICU needs that I needed for like the betrayal trauma. So this is all considered self-care to me, and self-care is essential to our healing. Okay, so ready? Here we go. Constant care to me means so many things, but we need to be consistent with caring for ourselves, right? Close supervision to me also means that we need someone to check on us closely, and I recommend you find a group of women who you can trust and who you can check in with, and vice versa. This will expedite your healing because then you won't feel like you're alone. Life support equipment. My life support is my connection to heaven, and I need to make sure now more than ever that that connection is completely intact, because that is all that was keeping me alive right then and now. But it's hard to feel like you want to, so just start small. So pray, read scriptures, use apps, journals, cue pens, create a safe place in your home, and plus add some temple attendance in there. And I promise it will help. Medication to me means good food, good sleep, and medicine if you need it. We need to keep our bodies at least functioning is what it says, even if you don't feel like it. I'm not talking about a whole bag of Halloween candy, although if you must, then don't let me stop you. Treat yourself, because you'll learn more techniques later. Highly trained physicians equals my therapists, who were and are amazing, and they are trained in specifically betrayal trauma. And they could help me understand what was happening in my brain and in my body and my spirit. And that was so key to getting me unstuck. And just knowing what I was experiencing was called betrayal trauma was actually so healing for me. And I knew I wasn't crazy. I remember that day when I told my husband that. Okay, nurses. These to me are like coaches. They were and are still so helpful in knowing what I need through each stage of my healing process. They also use different tools to help me during each of these times. So when I get triggered or feel unsafe, what I need to do. And those are things that we'll share later on too. Respiratory therapists, you might think, you can't figure one out for that, but these are like personal trainers because we need to get our bodies moving and breathing. And it's so important to get oxygen to the correct parts of our brain so we can talk to our fight or flight part of our brain and remind her that we are still in control and to stop listening to Satan. You know what I'm saying? So, and then different than hospital wards. What is different than a hospital ward? It's your ward. Your ward can be a lifeline too. And I actually love sharing my story with others because I want to make it more normal to talk about this out in the open because then Satan can't use it against us. So if you'd like for my husband and I to come and speak to your adults or youth in the ward, just shoot me a text. 801-380-5553. And we'd be more than happy to come and share our experiences with pornography addiction and healing after betrayal trauma. And even our son could come and help too with how it affects children and family. Access to advanced medical resources. This one was not hard. This one was access to President Nelson for me as a resource was such a blessing. He was a heart surgeon, and since mine was broken, who better to help me? Plus, he's an apostle of the Lord, so I knew he would have some awesome things to help me heal, and he did. You can actually go into the Gospel Library app and just go into General Conference and click his cute face, and there are like 99 talks that he's given since he became an apostle. Listen to all of them. Then there's equipment not routinely available elsewhere. Do different things in different places. Travel to a place you've never been before. Do whatever it takes to go on a girls' retreat. I promise it's so worth it. And something that might seem weird is serve someone in a different way. Just something super simple. Organize a drawer. Give yourself little wins. Get creative. Draw. Start a business, do things that you can be proud of because it will rebuild your confidence. If you have just experienced this D-Day, please know that each of these things took me a long time. And at first, it's just so hard to breathe or eat or sleep. But as you practice and stay with it, you can increase your capacity to do them, and you'll find more peace and more confidence the more you do each one of them. And you'll gradually take back that control of your body and your full self. You are capable of thriving one step at a time. Tomorrow, I will tell you why I don't tell my sisters to hang in there during times like these. Until then, stay strong, warrior woman.